on time in life isn't the truth. It's social conditioning, and it ends today. So let's start with our 20s and the lies you're telling yourself and the lies that the social clock has been telling you. And when I share with you the reality of what it's like to be in your 20s today, I think you're going to feel very validated. And if you're listening right now and you're not in your 20s, but you have somebody in your life who is, this is going to be so eye opening because being in your 20s right now is a very different experience than being in your 20s even 5 years ago. The amount of change that has happened when it comes to careers, when it comes to the cost of living, when it comes to the way that people work now is mesmerizing. And so the expectation that you should, quote, have it figured out in your 20s is not only a joke, it's dangerous. And so as you hear me share the reality of what you're facing in your 20s and why the 20s is not when you're supposed to figure your life out. No, if you're feeling lost in your 20s, you're doing your 20s correctly because your 20s is not the decade of figuring things out, especially in your career. The 20s is a decade of possibility. That's what the 20s are. I want to read to you a message from Mimi, who is a listener of this podcast, and she wrote into melrobbins.com. Hey, Mel, I'm 25, lost, jobless, and I regret the degree I spent 4 years on. It feels too late to pursue something meaningful like med or law school. How do I break out of this rut and stop comparing myself to those who had a clear path from a young age? First of all, this notion that you're too late to apply to med school is a lie. You can apply to med school at the age of 80. There is no age limit for applying to medical school. Even if you didn't do a pre med major, you can do a post bac pre med program and then apply to law school. There are people right now that are listening around the world that applied to law school in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's a joke. So stop putting that pressure on yourself that there was some time that you were supposed to do it and now you're, quote, late. No, you're not. You're figuring your life out. Your 20s is a time that is full of possibility. So before I talk about how I want you to reframe your mindset to possibility and really embrace that in your 20s, I don't want you to have things figured out. In your 20s, I want you to be exploring and figuring out who you are and what you like. And if by the age of 25, you have woken up and realized, oh my gosh, I really do feel this call to become a doctor, great. Go explore it. Great. Check out the possibility. And for those of you who are listening, who are not in your 20s, I really need you to understand something. Being a 20-year-old today is not the experience that you had in your 20s.